I think everybody wants there to be less kids dying. I think everybody wants there to be peace in the Middle East of rational, good, sound mind. The problem is Hamas is not a rational, sound actor, and they are, in fact, a suicide cult. So how do you negotiate with them when I truly believe they see this as politically beneficial to them? They're restricting the distribution of aid to the people who need it. They're sometimes killing people when they're trying to take it. So I think we're in a position where it's the United States or it's Israel.
The problem, Clay, with that is, as the New York Times reported at the weekend, there is no actual proof that it's Hamas that has been preventing this UN aid getting through to the Gaza.
I believe the evidence is pretty clear that Hamas is not acting in the best interests of the people that are living in Gaza, and it's profoundly unfortunate.
Well, that is indisputable.
The political will
that is indisputable. I'm talking about the issue of the aid. And the truth is, nearly 1,000, or maybe more than 1,000 now, Gazans have been killed in these lines, waiting for aid. And the reality is that the vast majority have been killed by the IDF. And the IDF says, well, we're firing warning shots, or people were moving towards us in a threatening way, or whatever it is. There's always some excuse. We're going to launch an investigation. We're going to do this, do that, and nothing ever happens. And the truth, this is why Israel's reputation is plummeting around the world, because people see thousands of starving Gazans, population of 2 million where half are under 18. They're starving hungry. We're seeing emaciated, we've got the 40th anniversary of Live Aid. These are scenes reminiscent now of what we saw in Ethiopia when Bob Geldof rallied the world. And I just don't see how any of this is a win for Israel. It just every day Israel's reputation is damaged.
I think the challenge is, how do you end it? And I think the challenge is, if you don't have a rational political actor on the other side to negotiate.
This is so ridiculous, because
they still have hostages.
Hold on.
They
don't give a shit about the hostages, Clay. They're starving the hostages. They're bombing the hostages. The hostages have been emotional blackmail. It's a lie. They admit they don't give a shit about the hostages.
Ask
the hostage families. Ask the hostage families about how much Netanyahu cares about the hostages.
I've been to Israel and talked to the hostage families.
You ask, how do you negotiate with Hamas? Guess what? The Trump administration can answer that question, because they did it. They negotiated a ceasefire. And guess who blew that ceasefire up? Guess who blew that ceasefire up? Guess who blew that ceasefire up? It wasn't Hamas. It was Israel. And greenlit by the Trump administration, which has allowed Bibi Netanyahu and his psycho far-right ministers, who are openly announcing that their plan is complete starvation and ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip. That is their plan. It's not some mystery what's going on here. They had to engineer over months, over years at this point, a complete famine. Over the past 24 hours, 14 more people have starved to death. Do you know how hard it is to starve an entire population?
Yeah, someone should ask Hamas why they're allowing
your butt Hamas
to
bullshit is so tired. Israel they could never be in the wrong. It could never be that they intentionally want to have a final solution here and cleanse, as they do.
And they have no interest in the people of Gaza. Hamas does not.
Smotrich, who is an Israeli minister, just announced there should be no aid sent into Gaza, just shells. That's it. They have openly announced their plans to ethnically cleanse the entire Gaza Strip. Is that okay with you? Are you okay with innocent women and children who are not Hamas? Babies who are starving before they even say their first word?
No one wants innocent people to die of rational.
Then why are you running cover for them?
I'm not running cover for them.
Then why are you running cover for them? Yes, you are. Obviously you are. You just lied about Hamas stealing the aid and trying to kill people who are getting aid. What a bunch of lies and bullshit.
This is the idea that
there is the Israeli military said that's not true.
The ability to call
the Israeli military.
Hamas is
evil. The Israeli military said that's not true.
Do you think Hamas is evil?
I think killing innocent civilians is evil. And I'm willing to say it when it's Hamas who did it on October 7th. And I'm willing to say it when it's our government funding a genocide in the Gaza Strip.
There's intentional terroristic killing, which is what Hamas did, and trying to negotiate peace with terrorists, which is what Israeli leaders are doing.
What makes you think that the Israelis are intentionally negotiating peace? There is no sign of that whatsoever.
There is
none at all.
Only safe place in the Middle East where you have basic human rights is Israel.
Clay, do you think that just all of the Gaza Strip being turned into rubble. Churches, mosques,
hit all
hospitals,
of their terrorists,
all being destroyed. Oh, it's just an accident. It's just an accident.
Places as they can. Hamas is to blame for all of this.
Please, please. This is so tired. No one believes this anymore.
Let me jump in.
Your own party doesn't believe this anymore.
Let me jump in. I would make the point, Clay, that I totally agree with everything you say about Hamas. But the problem is, Israel should be better than Hamas.
But
Israel
who can they
should show more
negotiate
humanity.
with here? This is the challenge.
Well, here's my point.
Here's
my point. Israel, as the only democracy in the Middle East, should be showing the world what humanity actually looks like. They shouldn't be replicating the lack of humanity that Hamas show. Everybody knows Hamas are an inhumane terrorist organization.
Challenge that Israel
for Israel to behave in a way that appears to be as inhumane towards starving children, innocent women being killed in huge numbers, all of this happening, this is inhumane. And I don't think it suits Israel's purposes, either in getting rid of Hamas, which they can't appear to do, getting the hostages released, which they can't appear to do, or in enhancing their reputation around the world. It's having the opposite effect. And so I say this as a friend of Israel, enough. You've got to stop this. You know, I messaged Netanyahu today on X and said, you've got to start starving children. You have to. Otherwise, the end result for Israel will be catastrophic.
I think the challenge they have is the minute they step out of controlling and patrolling Gaza and trying to in some way keep Hamas from coming back into power, the people who live there are going to allow Hamas to return to power. And so there needs to be, in my opinion, a solution that removes Hamas from leadership in Gaza for all time. If that means that you have to bring in other Arab countries that are also opposed to Hamas, which is many of them now, and thanks to a weakened Iran, there is no supplement that is going to continue to uplift Hamas in Gaza. That, to me, feels like the long-term solution.
Can I say something that
can be helpful in that?
Okay, I want to just hang on, Krystal.
One thing very. I want to just Piers, this is important.
Yeah, very quickly. I want to move on to something else.
In the last peace negotiations, Hamas agreed to step down from political leadership. They agreed to that in the peace negotiations. You can check Jeremy Scahill, Drop Sites reporting on all of this. And the Israelis said, we don't want that. Bibi Netanyahu has loved having Hamas there. He flew to Qatar to make sure that they were still getting their money because he always wants to be able to say there is no partner for peace. So let's deal in facts and reality here. The Israelis have decided they want to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip. That is the plan they're putting into place. They're announcing it, Clay. You don't have to believe me. You can listen to them. Listen to what they're saying. The starvation plan.
If they were, they could have killed the 2 million people immediately.
The head of Mossad. The head of Mossad.
If they wanted to.
You know what? I actually think, if I could jump in, Krystal. If I can jump in, I actually think, Clay, when you listen to what Smodrich said 3 weeks ago on camera, he made it absolutely clear what he wants, which is to, in his words, cleanse Gaza of Palestinians.
עזה חרבה לחלוטין, אגב, פשוט מכיוון שהיא כולה תשתית טרור אחת גדולה מעל ומתחת לפני הקרקע, פשוט חרבה לחלוטין. אמרתי, אזרחיה מרוכזים מציר מורג ודרומה במרחב הומניטרי שאין בו חמאס ואין בו טרור, ואגב, משם הם מתחילים לצאת במספרים גדולים מאוד למדינות שלישיות. זה אירוע שישנה את המציאות, את ההיסטוריה של מדינת ישראל עשרות שנים קדימה.
I now watch them pushing the Palestinian population into a smaller and smaller part of the Gaza Strip. They've demolished 70% of it, making it uninhabitable. I think it is crystal clear now that there is a movement in the Israeli government to get rid of the Palestinians from Gaza and move them into neighboring Arab countries. And some of them are saying it openly. And the actions on the ground suggest that is exactly what they want to do. And I say that as somebody who, when people said this was the real plan all along, I used to
wiping out everyone immediately.
I think they want to get the Palestinians out of Gaza now, and if they do that, it is a war crime and it's ethnic cleansing.